What's up, music fans of the internet? Welcome to last week's album. I'm Kevin,
I'm Derek.
and together we are last week's album, talking about good music, reviewing a new album for you every week. This week, we're talking about Divisionary by Ages and Ages. For a little background there.
Whoa, Kevin. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're better than this.
I know I forgot to toast because we always drink a beer. My bad. Cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
Cheers.
I took an extra big swig as punishment, but...
Good, I was going to recommend that.
So, yeah, a little background on the band and the album. They are from Portland, Oregon. There are 8 members, led by band leader Tim Perry. There have been some lineup changes since their debut album from, I think, 2011, which was pretty well received. And since then, Tim Perry went on a silent meditation retreat to reflect on the direction of the band before they recorded this album. And side note, I think that would be a great premise for a reality TV show if you put lead singers in silent retreats. What do you think, Derek?
Lead singers in silent retreats. That sounds about as effective as me playing the silent game.
Yeah, something like that. So, anyway, after that, Divisionary was born. It is a portmanteau of division and visionary. So with that, we'll jump into what it sounds like. Derek, what do you think it sounds like?
Kevin, I think Ages and Ages sounds like of monsters and men, and the O's hitting their collective shins while getting into their death cab for Cutie they were sharing across town.
Very, very nice. I'm going to reference one of the same bands and do a completely different mixture. I think it sounds like Grouplove goes on a polyphonic spree, grabbing fleet foxes by the shins.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, so let's get into key tracks. Derek, what'd you have?
Kevin, I have Light Goes Out and Over It.
All right, I've got Our Demons and Divisionary, Do the Right Thing. So why don't you start us off? I think that first one is the title, or lead track.
Kevin, that's right. Light Goes Out is the opening track. It opens up with just insanely catchy vocal melody, hand claps. Another vocal melody chimes in with subtle drums, hints of guitar, and mind you, this is just the first minute. It transitions to a slightly different sound, driven mainly by a bass guitar riff, more lone vocals and some keyboard, but once again, other vocals and instruments come in, building to a pleasant buzz of instruments and voices. There were some very interesting lyrics here as well, which I'm sure we'll kind of discuss the overall theme going forward. But overall, I thought there were a lot of really good things right off the bat. Immediately grabbed my attention here on Light Goes Out.
Yeah, that's what struck me about the first one. It really kind of grabs you for a good welcome into the whole album. Similar to my first key track, it's called Our Demons, and it starts with this sort of gentle electric guitar and these group hand claps that, again, hook you right from the start. Lead vocals and these small sort of choral bursts come in until about 1:15, and then you get a glimpse of things starting to pick up, but it stays subtle, with drums and soft organ and these very distant low register hums, which are really cool. And then at 2:05, everything comes together. There's a major piano riffage and a slow and steady build that brings all these sounds together for a glorious, glorious ending. What was your next key track, Derek?
Kevin, my next key track is Over It. This one starts with a very heavy strummed guitar, just a number of percussive instruments in the background, like tambourines, some bass-type drums, just really interesting sounds. And this repetitive vocal line that almost sounds kind of droning, but it's very catchy at the same time. It really shifts in momentum. At one point, the instruments drop out, so it's a male and female duo of vocals going on. Ultimately joined by the group in a call and response type thing, where there's just percussion instruments going on in the background, ultimately building. Just really interesting song, really cool lyrics. One I liked, and I have no remorse for the way that I am anymore. No, I feel no shame. If you want, then you could just look away. A lot of really good things, again, going on here. I'm not over how good this song is, I guess. Sorry, continue.
Nice, nice. Well done, sir. For my next key track, I have the last track / title track, Divisionary, and in parentheses, Do the Right Thing. Starts with acoustic guitar and just Perry's voice. Then we get some hi-hats, backing vocals, guitars, bass, piano, and organ. All sort of sneak their way in, and then they all drop out to just voice and piano. And then they all come crashing back in, and the vocals go off in a million different directions. That's one really cool thing about this band. I think everyone in the band sings. If not lead vocals, definitely backup. So they all come in, and it just gives your ear a million different things to catch onto and hook onto, which is really, really well done. And then it all mellows back out to just a few strings softly closing out. So just really, really well done compositionally. And that's why I dug it. Best lyrics, Derek, what do you got?
Kevin, you know, my best lyric comes from Divisionary, Do the Right Thing. Is that like parentheses you're doing?
Yes, these are parentheses.
Okay. I thought you were doing it with your arms, but anyway, do the right thing. Here it is. Do the right thing. Do it all the time. Make yourself right. Never mind them. Don't you know you're not the only one suffering? I just thought it was, you know, especially as you hear it in the song, it's very catchy. It's being sung by many different people. That just really kind of adds to the overall effect, I would almost say, of some of these lyrics. This one just really stuck with me, and I thought it would go well, especially since you just discussed the song earlier.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite lyrics, but for my best lyric, I'm going to go with one from Our Demons, that key track I mentioned, and it goes, "We're not so different, you and I. You've got your reasons for avoiding your demons, and I know I've got mine," which I thought was really nice, kind of sympathetic. So, cool. Which brings us to overall rating. What are you going to give it, Derek?
Kevin, I'm going 4 out of 5. I really liked it. I've been flirting between 4 and 5 all day, but since you just made this sympathetic type thing, I'm saying nay. I'm going 4, but it still very easily could have been 5. I wanted to say Divisionary is revolutionary, just kind of in the overall sound, and it just plays well on the album title. I just really enjoyed. I thought they have a very unique sound with the vocal melodies going on, just really strong instrumentally. I really dig it. So 4 out of 5 for me.
All right, I'm going to agree with you, Derek, and give it a 4 out of 5 as well. I really like the thematic, cohesive lyrics. They occasionally got a little preachy for me, but cut them some slack. And normally I'd fault them for kind of redundant verses, but they sneak them in with such clever sort of shifts and harmonies that you don't even notice, and you can easily overlook it and look past it. So I'm going to choose to do that. They teeter on the edge of positivity and pop and usually never go too far and too sweet, which is really nice. And then very unique to this band, they rely a lot more on vocal dynamics than instrumentation. That's not to say they don't play their instruments well. They just choose to play with their voices in a lot of different ways. So that's really cool. And they're great at building these really layered sonic dimensions with plenty of surprises at every turn. So I agree with you, Derek. 4 out of 5. There you go. 2 4s out of 5, which together would make an 8 out of 10. And that's what we have to say about Divisionary by Ages and Ages. Once again, I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek.
And we are last week's album. Don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube. And we will see you next week with another album review. Cheers, guys.